Still undergoing treatment. And what this insider says she means when it's incurable, but the king is able to live with cancer. In her words, she says it means the king may die with cancer, but not of cancer, which might appear.
The devastating phone call that came at 3 a.m. has left the future king speechless. After everything he's endured with Kate's cancer battle and King Charles's health crisis, this changes everything. Palace insiders are calling it the most shocking development in royal history. Staff are in tears, security has been tripled, and William hasn't been seen since the news broke.
The ocean has been fully protected. If we are to reach our goal, we urgently need to take bold action to protect and restore our planet. We must realize the potential of the blue economy for our ecosystems, our economies.
In recent months, William has been more open about the challenges of royal life than ever before. During an interview with Eugene Levy for Apple TV's The Reluctant Traveler, he admitted that while royal duties no longer overwhelm him, family stress affects him deeply. He described 2024 as the hardest year of his life, a period marked by his wife Catherine's cancer diagnosis and his father King Charles's own health battle. These personal struggles have shaped his perspective on leadership and what it means to serve as a future king. The royal family operates within a complex system of protocols and traditions that date back centuries. These rules govern everything from how they travel to what they wear, from whom they can marry to how they conduct themselves in public. According to royal experts, members of the family must pack black clothing whenever they travel abroad, ensuring they have appropriate attire should a family member pass away unexpectedly. Direct heirs to the throne are discouraged from flying together to protect the line of succession. Even their diet is regulated, with shellfish typically avoided during official functions to prevent food poisoning that could derail important engagements. But William has been increasingly vocal about his desire to modernize these traditions. In his interview with Levy, he stated that change is on his agenda, emphasizing that he embraces rather than fears it. He spoke about creating a world where his son Prince George, now 12 years old, can be proud of what the royal family accomplishes. This vision includes ensuring the monarchy has a genuine impact on people's lives, rather than simply maintaining ceremonial functions. The pressure on William has intensified as King Charles continues his cancer treatment. Sources close to the palace indicate that while the king remains dedicated to his duties, reading his red boxes every morning and maintaining his commitment to service, William has quietly taken on more responsibilities. This gradual transition reflects the natural evolution of the monarchy, where the heir increasingly prepares for eventual succession. Royal watchers have noted the careful balance William must maintain between supporting his father and establishing his own identity as future king. Recent media reports have suggested some tension between Charles and William regarding their different approaches to royal duties. Biographer Tina Brown has claimed that Charles sometimes feels irritated by William's lighter workload compared to the time he dedicates to his family, which William has made a high priority. This tension reflects a broader challenge within monarchies, where the heir must wait for their turn, while the current monarch continues to reign. The relationship between father and son has evolved significantly in recent years, particularly following Prince Harry's departure from royal duties. Constitutional expert Craig Prescott notes that William was quickly made Prince of Wales after his grandmother's death, suggesting strong alignment between Charles and William on the future direction of the monarchy. Both share environmental concerns and support the concept of a slimmed-down royal family, though they may differ on implementation timelines and specific approaches. William's vision for change includes learning from his own childhood experiences. He has spoken candidly about not wanting his children to face the same challenges he and Harry encountered during their parents' turbulent marriage and eventual divorce. The prince has emphasized the importance of creating warmth, safety, and security at home, acknowledging that childhood stress can have lasting effects into adulthood. The media scrutiny that defined much of William's early life continues to influence his approach to royal duties. He has described the press coverage around his mother, Princess Diana, as insatiable, with journalists seeking every detail and being present everywhere. This experience has shaped his determination to protect his own family from similar intrusion, though he recognizes that complete privacy is impossible given their public roles. Current royal protocols still require significant personal sacrifices from family members. They cannot vote in elections, despite no legal prohibition, because political neutrality is essential to the monarchy's constitutional role. They must seek permission from the monarch before marrying, ensuring potential spouses align with royal values and obligations. Public displays of affection are discouraged during official functions, though this rule has become less rigid in recent years. The traditional royal calendar remains packed with formal obligations that showcase British heritage and constitutional traditions. Events like Trooping the Colour, Royal Ascot, the state opening of Parliament, and Remembrance Sunday require meticulous planning and adherence to centuries-old protocols. These occasions demonstrate the monarchy's role in British cultural life and its connection to institutions like Parliament and the military. William's approach to these traditions reflects his broader philosophy about monarchy in the modern era. He has spoken about wanting royal duties to have maybe a smaller R in the royal, suggesting a more accessible and less formal institution. This vision aligns with public expectations in an era where transparency and authenticity are increasingly valued. The technical aspects of royal life continue to evolve with changing times. Digital communication has transformed how the royal family connects with the public, though it has also created new challenges around privacy and media management. Social media platforms allow for direct communication with citizens, but they also require careful management to maintain the dignity expected of the institution. William's recent public appearances have shown someone increasingly comfortable with his role as future king, while remaining grounded in his identity as a father and husband. His visit to Balmoral Castle in September to spend private time with King Charles reflects the ongoing importance of family relationships within the monarchy. These informal meetings, while not listed on official schedules, provide opportunities for the monarch and heir to discuss the future privately. The gradual transition of responsibilities has become more apparent in recent months. William represented his father at the COP30 countdown event and is set to attend the climate summit in Brazil on Charles's behalf. These international engagements demonstrate William's growing role as the monarchy's representative on the global stage, particularly on issues like environmental protection, that both he and his father consider priorities. The evolution of William's public persona, from reluctant royal to confident future king, reflects broader changes within the monarchy itself. His willingness to discuss personal challenges, his emphasis on family life, and his commitment to meaningful change suggest a different kind of leadership than previous generations. This transformation has not gone unnoticed by constitutional experts, who see it as evidence that William is actively preparing for kingship rather than simply waiting for it to happen. As the morning routines at Kensington Palace continue, they carry the weight of both tradition and transformation. Each day brings William closer to his eventual role as king, but it also provides opportunities to shape what that role will look like for future generations. The careful balance between honoring the past and embracing change defines much of his current approach to royal life. The challenges ahead remain significant. Public opinion about the monarchy varies, with some viewing recent developments as necessary modernization, while others worry about losing important traditions. William's task involves navigating these competing expectations while maintaining the institution's relevance and effectiveness in serving the British people and the Commonwealth. The story of Prince William's evolution continues to unfold against the backdrop of a changing world where traditional institutions must adapt to survive and thrive. His journey from a young man who lost his mother in tragic circumstances to a confident leader preparing for kingship reflects both personal growth and institutional adaptation. The morning routines at Kensington Palace, seemingly ordinary on the surface, carry the extraordinary weight of preparing for the future of one of the world's oldest continuous monarchies. The transition has been gradual but unmistakable. In recent months, Prince William has found himself stepping into a role that many expected would come later in his life. With King Charles continuing his cancer treatment, the Prince of Wales has quietly taken on more responsibilities that were traditionally reserved for the monarch. This shift represents not just a temporary adjustment, but a preview of what the future of the British monarchy might look like under William's eventual leadership. The increase in William's duties became particularly evident in March 2025, when palace sources confirmed he had significantly expanded his public engagements and ceremonial responsibilities. He began presiding over investiture ceremonies at Windsor Castle, meeting with heads of state, and participating in high-profile public engagements on behalf of his father. Royal aides indicated this increased visibility was designed to maintain continuity and public confidence, while the king reduced his schedule during treatment. The palace has been careful to clarify that this is not a formal regency arrangement, but rather a strategic delegation of duties. King Charles retains all royal prerogatives and continues to read his red boxes every morning, a routine he has maintained despite his health challenges. As one palace insider described it, the king believes his service to the country is his calling, and he remains determined to keep going as long as he can. However, the practical reality is that William has become the most visible working member of the royal family. This expanded role has extended beyond public appearances to include private briefings with senior government officials and foreign diplomats. William's growing influence in state matters reflects the natural progression of monarchical succession, though it has come sooner than many anticipated. The prince has handled these additional responsibilities with what commentators have described as confidence and statesmanship, reinforcing his public image as a stable and proactive figure during a sensitive period for the monarchy. King Charles's health journey has been marked by both transparency and privacy. After being diagnosed with an undisclosed form of cancer in February 2024, following a procedure for benign prostate enlargement, the king chose to share his diagnosis publicly to prevent speculation and assist public understanding for those affected by cancer worldwide. However, the specific type of cancer has remained confidential, with palace sources only confirming it is not prostate cancer. Recent updates on the king's condition have been cautiously optimistic. In July 2025, Charles told a cancer survivor during a visit to Newmarket that he was feeling a lot better now, and described his illness as just one of those things. Palace sources have described his treatment as moving in a positive direction, though they acknowledge it remains a managed condition that will require ongoing treatment into 2025. The king briefly returned to the hospital in March due to temporary side effects from his treatment, forcing the postponement of several engagements. Despite these health challenges, Charles has maintained his commitment to royal duties wherever possible. He has attended major events when his health permits and continues to fulfill his constitutional role as head of state. His approach to his illness has been characterized by what he describes as bringing into sharp focus the very best of humanity. The king has used his platform to highlight the work of cancer awareness organizations and express gratitude to healthcare professionals, who, he says, represent the very best the country can offer. William's response to this family crisis has demonstrated his evolution as both a future king and a devoted son. He has balanced his increased royal responsibilities with his commitment to family life, particularly supporting Catherine during her own cancer battle in 2024. The Princess of Wales announced she was in remission in January 2025, allowing the couple to gradually resume their public roles together. William's handling of both personal and professional challenges has reinforced his reputation for prioritizing family while fulfilling his duties to the crown. The prince's approach to his expanding role reflects broader changes he envisions for the monarchy. Rather than simply maintaining existing traditions, William has embraced what he calls a work-from-home model for some royal duties, combining digital engagement with in-person appearances to maximize impact. This approach allows him to balance the unexpected intensification of his royal role with his commitment to being a present father and husband. Sources close to William suggest he has no intention of emulating his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth's model of conducting several hundred engagements annually, and serving as patron to hundreds of charities. Instead, his strategy focuses on representing fewer causes, but having more meaningful impact. This philosophy aligns with his stated goal of creating a world where his son Prince George can be proud of what the royal family accomplishes, emphasizing substance over ceremonial obligations. The transition period has also highlighted the close working relationship between father and son. Constitutional experts note that Charles made William Prince of Wales remarkably quickly after ascending the throne, suggesting strong alignment on the monarchy's future direction. Both share environmental concerns and support the concept of a slimmed-down royal family, though they may approach implementation differently. William's current expanded role serves as what palace insiders describe as a dry run for his eventual kingship. International responsibilities have become an increasingly important part of William's portfolio. He represented his father at the COP30 countdown event in London and is scheduled to attend the climate summit in Brazil on Charles's behalf. These international engagements demonstrate William's growing role as the monarchy's representative on the global stage, particularly on issues like environmental protection, that both he and his father consider priorities. The prince's military connections have also deepened during this period. In May 2024, King Charles officially handed over the role of Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps to William at the Army Aviation Center. This military appointment sparked some controversy, as many royal watchers believed the title would be more suited for Prince Harry, who trained and served in the military branch. However, William has embraced these military responsibilities as part of his preparation for kingship. Public reception of William's expanded role has been largely supportive. Recent polling shows him consistently ranking as one of the most popular members of the royal family, with approval ratings reflecting confidence in his ability to handle increased responsibilities. His willingness to discuss personal challenges, combined with his professional competence, has resonated with a public that increasingly values authenticity alongside traditional royal dignity. The media's coverage of this transition has been generally positive, though questions remain about the long-term sustainability of the current arrangement. Royal commentators have noted that William is effectively serving as a virtual king, while maintaining his position as heir, a unique situation that provides insight into his future reign. The careful management of this transition demonstrates the monarchy's ability to adapt to changing circumstances while maintaining constitutional stability. Behind the scenes, palace staff have had to adjust to new working patterns and protocols. The coordination between Buckingham Palace, where King Charles is based, and Kensington Palace, William's headquarters, has required careful management to ensure seamless continuity of royal functions. This coordination extends to the scheduling of engagements, the management of media relations, and the handling of state business. The financial implications of this transition have also required attention. With William taking on more high-profile roles, discussions about resource allocation and the funding of royal activities have gained prominence. These conversations align with William's reported interest in fiscal responsibility and his desire to ensure the monarchy is seen as prudent stewards of public resources. Looking ahead, the current arrangement appears likely to continue as long as King Charles requires ongoing medical treatment. Palace sources suggest the king remains optimistic about his recovery and hopes to return to full public duties when his health permits. However, the experience has accelerated William's preparation for eventual succession and provided valuable experience in managing the complex responsibilities of modern monarchy. The evolution of William's role during this period has implications beyond the immediate family crisis. It demonstrates the monarchy's resilience and ability to maintain continuity during challenging times. The seamless transition of responsibilities has reinforced public confidence in the institution's stability and effectiveness, essential qualities for an organization that serves as both head of state and symbol of national unity. This period has also highlighted the importance of family unity within the royal household. The support network surrounding both King Charles and Catherine during their health battles has included not just immediate family members, but also the broader royal family and their professional staff. This collective approach to crisis management reflects the institutional nature of modern monarchy, where personal challenges must be managed within the context of public service. The challenges ahead remain significant, but William's performance during this transitional period has provided reassurance about the monarchy's future. His ability to balance increased responsibilities with personal commitments, his thoughtful approach to modernizing royal practices, and his commitment to meaningful impact suggest a monarchy that can adapt and thrive in the 21st century, while maintaining its essential character and constitutional role. The walls of Buckingham Palace have witnessed many crises over the centuries, but few periods have tested the monarchy's resilience quite like the past several years. From health scares to photo editing controversies, from persistent scandals to generational shifts in public opinion, the royal family has found itself navigating an increasingly complex landscape of public scrutiny and changing expectations. What emerges from this turbulent period is not just a story of crisis management, but a broader examination of how an ancient institution adapts to the relentless pace of modern media and shifting social values. The challenges began accumulating long before the recent health crises. According to the British Social Attitudes Survey released in September 2025, King Charles's monarchy is experiencing its deepest popularity slump in over 4 decades of recorded polling. The data reveals a stark transformation in public sentiment, with support for the royal family's importance dropping from 86% in 1983 to just 51% in 2024. Perhaps more concerning for palace strategists, support for abolishing the monarchy has risen from a mere 3% to 15% during the same period, while those who consider the institution unimportant but stop short of backing abolition has increased from 10% to 31%. These figures represent more than statistical fluctuations. They signal a fundamental shift in how the British public views the monarchy's role in contemporary society. When pollsters offer respondents a direct choice between keeping the monarchy or moving to an elected head of state, the results become even more stark. While 58% still prefer to maintain the royal system, 38% now favor electing a head of state. Among younger adults aged 16 to 24, Republicans outnumber Royalists by more than 2 to 1, with 67% supporting an elected head of state, compared to just 30% preferring the monarchy. Despite these concerning long-term trends, recent polling suggests the royal family retains significant support in key areas. YouGov data from August 2025 shows Prince William continuing to top popularity rankings, with 74% of Britons holding a positive opinion of the future king. Catherine remains similarly popular at 71%, while Princess Anne maintains strong support at 70%. King Charles, despite his health challenges, holds majority support at 59%, though this represents his lowest rating since becoming monarch. The contrast between individual popularity and institutional support highlights one of the monarchy's central challenges. People may admire specific royals while questioning the broader system they represent. This disconnect becomes particularly pronounced when examining generational differences. Older Britons consistently express more favorable views toward royal figures, with the exception of Prince Harry and Meghan, who enjoy higher approval among younger demographics. The data suggests a monarchy facing a future where its core support base is aging, while younger generations remain increasingly skeptical. The Prince Andrew crisis has emerged as perhaps the most damaging ongoing scandal for the royal family's reputation. Recent revelations about his connections to Jeffrey Epstein continue to surface, creating what royal experts describe as a time bomb that threatens to damage the broader institution. In October 2025, Andrew took the unprecedented step of relinquishing his royal titles, stating that continued accusations about him distract from the work of the king and royal family. However, this dramatic gesture has failed to quell public outrage or media scrutiny. The Andrew situation demonstrates how individual scandals can metastasize into institutional crises. With 89% of Britons now viewing the Duke of York negatively, according to recent polling, his association with the family creates ongoing reputational damage. Royal experts warn that as more embarrassing material emerges, the monarch has limited options for containing the fallout. The scandal's persistence over more than a decade illustrates how modern media cycles can sustain controversies indefinitely, making crisis resolution increasingly difficult. The photo editing controversy involving Catherine earlier in 2024 revealed another dimension of the monarchy's trust challenges. When the Princess of Wales released a Mother's Day photograph that was subsequently revealed to have been heavily edited, major news agencies took the rare step of withdrawing the image for violating editorial standards. The Guardian's imaging team identified 20 anomalies in the photo, suggesting it was created from multiple frames to achieve a more intended result. This incident, dubbed a PR disaster by some tabloids, highlighted the delicate balance between maintaining privacy and meeting public expectations for transparency. The photo controversy occurred during a particularly sensitive period when Catherine had stepped back from public duties following surgery, leading to widespread speculation about her health and whereabouts. The editing revelation transformed what should have been a routine family portrait into a symbol of broader trust issues between the royal family and both the media and public. The incident demonstrated how even minor missteps can escalate in the digital age, where every image is subject to intense scrutiny and analysis. Media relations have become increasingly complex for the royal family as traditional deference gives way to more aggressive scrutiny. The relative protection that Prince William and Catherine once enjoyed, compared to Prince Harry and Meghan, has eroded as journalists express frustration with what they perceive as insufficient transparency. Even traditionally supportive voices like broadcaster Piers Morgan have called for the royal family to come clean about various issues, reflecting a broader shift in media attitudes. The royal family's approach to crisis management has evolved to emphasize controlled transparency over absolute secrecy. King Charles's decision to publicly announce his cancer diagnosis marked a departure from historical royal practice, where health issues were typically kept private. This strategy aimed to prevent speculation, while encouraging public understanding of cancer experiences. However, the balance between openness and privacy remains delicate, particularly when family members face serious health challenges. Public reception of the royal family's crisis management has been mixed, but generally supportive regarding health-related transparency. Polling shows Britons largely approve of how information about the King and Princess of Wales's health conditions was shared. This suggests that strategic openness, when handled appropriately, can maintain public trust even during difficult periods. However, the photo editing incident demonstrates how quickly goodwill can evaporate when transparency appears compromised. The generational divide in royal support presents long-term strategic challenges that extend beyond immediate crisis management. Research indicates that first-time parents in Britain are now more likely to support abolishing the monarchy than ever before, suggesting the erosion of support is spreading beyond traditional young adult demographics. This trend is particularly concerning for royal strategists because these parents will influence the next generation's attitudes toward the monarchy. International perspectives add another layer of complexity to the royal family's reputation management. While American polling shows continued interest in the British royals, with Prince William and Catherine maintaining positive approval ratings, younger Americans express less enthusiasm for monarchical systems generally. The global nature of modern media means that scandals and controversies in Britain immediately become international news, affecting the monarchy's soft power and diplomatic effectiveness. The role of social media in amplifying both support and criticism has transformed how royal crises unfold. Conspiracy theories and speculation can spread rapidly through digital platforms, making narrative control increasingly difficult. The royal family's own social media presence, once seen as successfully modernizing their public engagement, now faces the challenge of maintaining authenticity while avoiding controversy. Every post is analyzed for hidden meanings, and any perceived misstep can trigger widespread criticism. Behind the public relations challenges lie genuine human stories of families dealing with serious illness, personal loss, and intense scrutiny. the balance between acknowledging these human dimensions while maintaining the dignity expected of constitutional monarchs creates constant tension. William's admission that 2024 was his hardest year reflects the personal toll of managing both family crises and public responsibilities simultaneously. The economic implications of declining royal popularity cannot be ignored. Tourism associated with the royal family contributes significantly to the British economy, and any long-term erosion of public interest could have measurable financial consequences. Additionally, the monarchy's role in international trade relationships and diplomatic initiatives depends partly on public support at home and abroad. Sustained controversy risks undermining these economic and diplomatic benefits. Looking ahead, the royal family faces the challenge of rebuilding trust while adapting to changing social expectations. William's vision for a more impactful but less formal monarchy represents one approach to addressing generational shifts in public opinion. However, implementing such changes requires navigating the delicate balance between honoring tradition and embracing necessary modernization. The media landscape continues to evolve, with traditional outlets facing competition from social media influencers and independent commentators who may have different standards and approaches to royal coverage. This fragmentation makes coordinated communication strategies more difficult while creating new opportunities for both positive and negative narratives about the royal family. Professional crisis management has become an increasingly important function within the royal household. The coordination between different royal residences, the management of multiple concurrent crises, and the need to maintain constitutional propriety while addressing public concerns requires sophisticated strategic planning. The palace's communications team must balance immediate response needs with longer-term reputation management goals. The international dimension of royal crisis management has expanded as global media attention intensifies. Scandals that might once have remained primarily British concerns now receive worldwide coverage, affecting the monarchy's role in Commonwealth relationships and international diplomacy. The need to manage multiple audiences simultaneously across different cultural contexts adds complexity to every communications decision. As the royal family moves forward, the lessons learned from recent crises will likely influence their approach to future challenges. The importance of proactive transparency, the dangers of information vacuums, and the speed at which modern controversies can escalate have all been demonstrated repeatedly. Whether these experiences strengthen the institution's resilience or contribute to its gradual decline remains an open question that will be answered in the years ahead. The future of the British monarchy rests in the hands of a man who has spent years quietly contemplating how ancient traditions can coexist with modern realities. Prince William's vision for his eventual reign represents more than simple reform. It embodies a fundamental reimagining of what it means to be a constitutional monarch in the 21st century. As the Prince of Wales has made increasingly clear through recent interviews and public statements, his approach to kingship will be defined by purposeful change rather than ceremonial continuity. William's philosophy centers on what he describes as authentic leadership that delivers meaningful impact rather than symbolic gestures. When asked about his future reign during his candid interview with Eugene Levy, the prince stated that change is definitively on his agenda, emphasizing that he embraces rather than fears transformation. He clarified that while he does not seek overly radical changes, he believes certain modifications are necessary and overdue. This represents a careful balance between respecting inherited traditions and acknowledging the need for institutional evolution. The prince's approach to questioning tradition reflects his broader understanding of relevance in modern society. He has spoken about examining royal practices to determine whether they remain fit for purpose today, asking whether specific traditions still deliver the greatest possible impact. This methodology suggests a future monarchy that will be more strategic and selective in its activities, focusing resources and attention on initiatives that produce measurable outcomes, rather than maintaining practices simply because they have historical precedent. One of the most significant manifestations of William's vision has been the development of the Earthshot Prize, launched in 2020 as what he describes as the most prestigious global environment prize in history. The initiative, inspired by President John F. Kennedy's 1962 Moonshot Challenge, aims to find and scale innovative solutions to the world's most pressing environmental problems. Over the next decade, the prize will distribute over £50 million to support groundbreaking environmental projects, with 5 annual winners receiving £1 million each to scale their solutions. The Earthshot Prize operates around 5 clear environmental goals to be achieved by 2030. Protect and restore nature, clean our air, revive our oceans, build a waste-free world, and fix our climate. Each category represents scientifically agreed targets underpinned by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The initiative demonstrates William's belief that optimism and practical solutions can overcome environmental pessimism while creating genuine change at scale. William's personal involvement in the Earthshot Prize extends far beyond ceremonial patronage. He actively engages with nominees and winners, incorporating visits to environmental initiatives into his official diary and hosting events connected with the charity. His hands-on approach includes attending innovation summits and participating in panel discussions, demonstrating his commitment to understanding the technical and practical aspects of environmental solutions, rather than simply lending his name to the cause. The success of early Earthshot winners illustrates the prince's vision for scalable impact. Companies like Notpla, which has developed biodegradable alternatives to plastic packaging, have moved from innovative startups to suppliers for major corporations like British Airways. This progression from innovation to mainstream adoption exemplifies William's belief that royal support should catalyze real-world change rather than simply recognize existing achievements. Beyond environmental activism, William's modernization plans extend to the fundamental structures and ceremonies of monarchy itself. Reports suggest he envisions significant reforms to the coronation service, planning to make his eventual ceremony much simpler than recent precedents. Sources close to the prince indicate he is mindful of how much the monarchy costs and wants to ensure the institution reflects modern life differently than previous generations have considered. The planned coronation reforms reportedly include questioning whether certain traditional elements remain relevant, such as the requirement for the nation to swear allegiance to the monarch. Royal sources suggest William has no intention of following such protocols, viewing them as inappropriate for contemporary democratic sensibilities. Even symbolic elements like the imperial state crown are being reconsidered, with some insiders questioning whether such ornate regalia appears outdated to modern audiences. William's vision for royal residences also reflects his modernization philosophy. He reportedly plans to make Forest Lodge in Windsor Great Park his primary residence, using Buckingham Palace solely for official duties. This would make him the first modern monarch not to live in the royal palace, symbolizing a more accessible and less remote approach to kingship. The decision aligns with his emphasis on family life and creating a safe, loving environment for his children, away from excessive public scrutiny. The prince's approach to royal titles represents another area of planned reform. Reports suggest he intends to use executive orders to remove princely titles from non-working royals, further distinguishing those who serve actively from those who do not. This streamlining of the royal hierarchy reflects broader public expectations for accountability and cost-effectiveness within the institution. The planned changes echo similar actions by other European monarchies, particularly Queen Margrethe II of Denmark's decision to remove titles from grandchildren to give them more autonomy. William's plans for his children's royal roles demonstrate his commitment to choice and authenticity over inherited obligation. He reportedly may delay granting royal titles to Prince George and his siblings until they are old enough to decide their own roles within the monarchy. This approach reflects his stated desire to create a world where his son can be proud of what the royal family accomplishes, while ensuring the children have genuine options about their future involvement. The prince's educational background and personal experiences have shaped his understanding of modern leadership challenges. His military service, university education, and work as an air ambulance pilot provided perspectives on public service that extend beyond traditional royal duties. These experiences inform his belief that effective leadership requires understanding real-world problems and developing practical solutions, rather than maintaining ceremonial distance from contemporary issues. William's relationship with technology and digital communication reflects his understanding of modern media landscapes. He recognizes the importance of social media and digital platforms while maintaining careful boundaries around family privacy. His approach suggests a future monarchy that engages authentically with digital audiences, without compromising the dignity or security that constitutional roles require. The generational divide in royal popularity influences William's strategic thinking about the monarchy's future. He understands that younger demographics view institutional authority differently than previous generations, requiring more transparent justification for royal privileges and expenses. His emphasis on impact and accountability directly addresses these concerns, while positioning the monarchy as a force for positive change rather than simply a historic curiosity. International relations will likely play an expanded role in William's eventual reign, particularly regarding environmental diplomacy and Commonwealth relationships. His environmental advocacy provides a platform for soft power projection that aligns with global priorities while avoiding controversial political positions. The Earthshot Prize has already demonstrated how royal initiatives can convene international leaders and drive policy discussions around shared challenges. The economic implications of William's modernization plans extend beyond cost reduction to encompass value creation through environmental and social initiatives. His focus on scaling innovative solutions could position the monarchy as a catalyst for emerging industries and technologies. This approach potentially transforms royal patronage from charitable obligation into economic development strategy, creating measurable returns on public investment in the institution. William's vision for royal communication emphasizes transparency and accessibility, while maintaining constitutional propriety. His willingness to discuss personal challenges and family struggles represents a significant departure from traditional royal communication strategies. This approach humanizes the monarchy, while demonstrating that royal service involves genuine sacrifice and commitment, rather than privileged isolation. The challenges facing William's modernization agenda include resistance from traditionalists within the royal household and broader British society. Some critics argue that excessive change risks undermining the mystique and continuity that give the monarchy its unique authority. Balancing reform with tradition requires careful navigation of competing expectations and deeply held beliefs about national identity and constitutional stability. Climate change provides William with a unifying cause that transcends traditional political divisions while addressing genuine global challenges. His environmental advocacy positions the future monarchy as forward-looking and internationally relevant, rather than historically backward-looking. This strategic focus could help maintain public support while advancing substantive policy goals that benefit society beyond ceremonial functions. The timeline for implementing William's vision remains uncertain, depending largely on King Charles's health and eventual succession planning. However, the prince's current expanded role provides opportunities to test and refine his approaches while building public support for future changes. His performance during this transitional period will likely influence how readily his eventual reforms are accepted by Parliament, the media, and the public. Legacy planning has become an explicit consideration in William's public statements, particularly his desire to create a world that makes his children proud of royal service. This generational perspective shapes his long-term strategic thinking, while providing motivation for difficult reforms that might not yield immediate benefits. His emphasis on future generations reflects broader societal shifts towards sustainability and intergenerational responsibility that resonate with contemporary values. The success of William's modernization agenda will ultimately depend on public reception and measurable outcomes, rather than internal royal approval. His focus on impact and accountability creates standards by which his eventual reign can be evaluated, moving beyond traditional metrics of royal success toward more quantifiable measures of social and environmental benefit. This approach represents both an opportunity and a risk, as failure to deliver promised changes could undermine public support more severely than maintaining traditional approaches. As Prince William continues developing his vision for modern monarchy, the balance between honoring inherited responsibilities and creating meaningful change remains delicate but achievable. His combination of environmental activism, institutional reform, and authentic communication suggests a future crown that could maintain relevance and public support while adapting to rapidly changing social and political landscapes. The ultimate test of his approach will be whether it successfully bridges the gap between ancient traditions and contemporary expectations, creating a monarchy that serves both historical continuity and future progress.